or give me death. Now, I don't know what kind of college experiences y'all had, but the Phi Kappa Pi Sigma Alpha Beta Theta Tau kind of goes down in infamy as the most best fraternity to ever exist. I know it's a long name, I know it's hard to remember. Just call us the Sons of Liberty, because that's what we call ourselves. So why the Sons of Liberty? Why do we call ourselves that? Let me give you a little background, okay? It had been a pretty rough semester. There was this guy named George, and George liked to stick his nose in everybody else's business and everybody else's frats and tried to deal with their stuff. And basically took all of our stuff, made it his own. He taxed us on everything. We didn't get pamphlets, documents, we couldn't fund anything, we had no parties, we had no rush for our freshmen, we had nothing, okay? This guy sucked. So we were all fuming this one day, okay? So we were all in the Green Dragon, which was our frat house. I came up with that name, thanks, I know it's pretty good. And everybody takes grief a little bit differently. I was trying to shove it down, I didn't want to deal with the stress, I didn't want to deal with it. I was trying to think of a way to have something to do for our freshmen, because they didn't have anything that year. Like I said, it's been a rough semester. Benedict was by my side, we were trying to think of something to do. Me and Benedict Arnold were kind of the top two heads of the house. And over in the other corner, you have Sammy. Sammy was drowning in his sorrows. He downed as many beers as he possibly could. Okay, he was off his rocker. You would never find Sam without a beer in his hand. He said he was going to start his own beer company one day. I don't know if that happened, but that was Sammy. In the other corner, you have John. And Johnny was full of himself. He was the captain of the sailing team. And he just liked to sign things. He just liked to autograph everything. And he was like, John, can you sign my homework? Can you sign my shoe? Can you sign anything? And John was like, yeah. She put a big fat John Hancock right there for the whole world to see. He claimed he would go down in infamy for his signature. And then last but not least, you have Mr. Patrick Henry. Now, Patrick, you have your natural pothead in the group. Here was Patrick up here. So Patrick, in dealing with his grief, got absolutely zooted in the corner by Sammy, drinking as many beers as he can. And I'm like, Ben, let's just give it up. I don't want to do this anymore. Everything's going to cost money. I don't know what to do. And we're sitting in the Green Dragon in Boston Harbor. And I look out the window, I'm like, there's boats out there. And those aren't our boats. Those are Georgie's boats, because he liked to be in our business. And I was like, hey Ben, what better way than to give our initiates a little bit of adrenaline, a little bit of maybe illegality, a little bit of gray area. And Ben was like, yeah, but we're gonna get caught. I don't know, we don't want to do that. And I was like, well, we can dress up, as something. I don't know. We could wear black, wear masks or something. I don't know. And I look over, and Patrick, absolutely baked, just smashes his ganja on the table, and it's all ashy and stuff. And he takes it up. He's like a caveman. He takes it up. Does that. And he looks at Sam and he's like, dude, call me Chief. I'm part of the Iroquois. And me and Ben looked at each other and we were like, that could work. So we're like, all right, freshmen, everybody gather up. We're dressing up as Indians. They didn't know what was going on. They just were happy to be doing something. And they went all out. They had feathers in their hair. They were throwing on war paint everywhere. Patrick put his whole body, just put war paint everywhere. This big shawl, like an Indian shawl, it was just a blanket. So we finally get out. We get outside. It's freezing. It's the middle of December, y'all. So it's freezing outside. We're dressed up like Indians, okay? We get to the boats. Finally get up on deck. I get up on deck, and there's chests everywhere. We counted 342 chests of tea. I don't know what Georgie was doing with all this tea. He probably twisted tea a lot. He probably was spiking it somehow. I don't know. So I'm trying to weave my way in and out of this tea. I finally get to the captain's quarters, and I'm trying to break open this padlock, trying to get into the captain's quarters, mess with his papers, his stuff, take some stuff out. And I hear this loud crashing behind me. I'm like, what is it? It's Patrick over here, just he took a hatchet from his dorm and just starts hacking at this chest of tea, getting it open. I'm like, Patrick, shut up. It's so loud because we're trying to be quiet. And he's just he turns to me and goes, we're taking the tea! I was like, all right. And everybody just immediately started joining in, started hacking at this tea, tossing it over the side. It took like an hour and a half to empty all this stuff out. We finally get done, and Georgie's guys, I can see them like coming down the dock, and I'm like, oh, freshmen, let's go. We got to get out of here. So we get down the boat, go down the dock, and we're like sprinting, and they're coming this way, and we kind of miss them like barely, and they don't care about us anymore. They're trying to see what we did with their boats. And so we're running away. I'm like, okay, we all got away, we're good. And I'm like counting everybody. And you know, at like a family gathering, your parents like count everybody to see who's there. So okay, Sam, John. Like, where the heck's Patrick? Patrick's still on the boat. All the tea is gone, but he's still trying to get into that padlock that I was trying to get into originally. I was like, Patrick, get off the boat. And he turns around, and all of Georgie's guys are staring right at him. Screams bloody murder. Starts like trying to get through them with his hatchet and everything. Finally evades one of them, but he was wearing like this blanket, like this shawl that he had for his Indian costume. And he finally gets past the guy, but the guy like grabs his blanket. And little did I know that Patrick was wearing nothing but his war paint and his tighty whities. Paler than any person you'll ever meet in your life. Sprints down, he's freezing outside. It's like 10 degrees, he's almost buck naked, running down the dock, sprints toward me. He turns around, looks at them and says, "Give me liberty or give me death!" And then just runs that way past me and just into the night. And I don't see him for like a week. But he came back a few years later and he remembered it all, so he was so good. It was fun. It was fun while it lasted. But the next day was not. The next day was not fun. Because Georgie was pissed. He was really mad. Because I found out, we did the math later on, we threw over about $370,000 worth of tea into the harbor. And stuff just kept piling up and piling up. And eventually it led to this like big dispute, like this 5-year dispute with Georgie, which we probably would have lost if it weren't for our foreign exchange students. They came in from France, and they just had a lot more money, a lot more resources. So our foreign exchange students really helped us out in that encounter. So we eventually got that independence from George and all his stuff that he was trying to influence us on. Yeah, I'll never forget that one night. And they're all still doing well. Everybody's still doing good. John Hancock did go down in infamy. He had the best signature of anybody. Sammy did start his beer company. So if any of y'all ever want some Sam Adams beer, you can buy that at any grocery store, any kind of convenience, wherever you can get it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Highly recommend. Benedict, we don't talk about Benedict anymore because for some reason, in like the 4th year of our little dispute with Georgie, Benedict was like, deuces, and he went and joined Georgie's side for some reason. So we don't talk about him anymore. He's a traitor. And believe it or not, Patrick is now the governor of Virginia. Don't ask me how he did that. I don't know what kind of greasy pole he had to climb to get up there, but he's doing well for himself. Yeah. Just taking the good times, y'all. Because doesn't matter what kind of stress you're under. We were under a ton of stress. Doesn't matter what's going on, school, work, friends, but just enjoy those moments. Make those memories. There's nothing better than fellowship and brotherhood. So, I mean, every memory that we make is kind of a footprint on that path of life that we all walk together. And that footprint can either be washed away in the sand, or it can be imprinted on history and remembered forever. So, remember those moments, and then they can become key pieces of who you are. So just think about those, because they're going to be gone before you know it.